I want to start this from the knowing that you have the power to change everything about yourself, about your life. Okay, this is how we start this session. How our challenges are actually blessings. How can we empower each other to see that challenges are actually for our own advantage? Because let me tell you something, if you can perceive challenges that way, nothing can stop you for achieving your dreams, for showing up in your purpose, for creating the life that you came here to create, for yourself, for your family, for humanity as a whole. And so we have to start from that place. We have to start from that place where we always feel that we are in a battle within ourselves, right? There's always a battle within ourselves. We have to admit that this is what it is. It's a battle of separation, a battle of, oh my God, today I don't feel the way I want to feel. I'm experiencing a discomfort, a challenge, right? And in those moments we feel like we are thrown off from our connection with ourselves. We are thrown off of alignment with the Creator inside. We somehow feel annoyed, frustrated, like there's sad, there's a sense of heaviness and disconnect that happens within. And I believe that the reason for that is because we haven't trained ourselves to see both sides of the duality as part of life. Since time, we are trying to fight our nature. We are trying to fight this universe. We are trying to fight the creation. Wrong or right, ice and hot, all of these things, we are judging these things so much. Why? Because it is painful to be in a human body and experiencing someone doing you something hurtful, right? It is not nice to experience abuse or trauma. So it's obvious that we do that. There is nothing wrong in doing it. However, we have to shift our perspective about what it is and how it works, so that we understand ourselves better and actually have a chance to have a peaceful, calm, and harmonious experience from now on. That doesn't throw us out of alignment and disconnects us with who we truly are. Because this is what I'm seeing often. People being disconnected from who they are based on judgment of duality and polarity. And we all, at the same time, you all pray and meditate our ways into non-duality, into unity consciousness. It's amazing to be in that space, right? Into that place of oneness and unity. We all want to be there. I want to be there all the time. But it doesn't work only through meditation. That is, everyone can feel that. It's easy to go there and meditate. It's easy to listen to a song that reminds you of how much love there is in the world. It's easy when we go into nature, and through the peace and silence of nature, we remind ourselves of who we are and how things should be, and that it can be, light. Our life can be light, and we can experience lightness and peace. When things go right, or the way we expect them to go, it's easy to feel love. It's easy to feel united. But when there's challenges, that's when our mastery comes into play. Because if you can feel good, even if you go through a challenge, even if your soulmate doesn't love you the way you want, or didn't appear in your life at all, or you've been through a breakup, right? Or your money are not yet in your bank account, your next client is not there, you don't know how you pay your rent, or maybe you have enough money but you want to level up to having more and create and build a new house, or whatever is your challenge. Because challenges are subjective, based on each individual and what their expectation is in life and how they are trained to process reality, right? So from my own journey, the goal was it feels like it's the biggest lesson I learned, and I'm constantly learning, is to navigate heavy, challenging moments without being shaken, without having my foundation shaken. Okay, and when that happens, I don't care if the world burns in front of me, I can be at peace. And from that peace, I can take action. And that action is way more powerful than if I take it from a reactive place. If I take it from fear, if I take it from survival. And so, my experience because of that has been easier, and I experience way more calm and inner peace. You know. And I believe that if we understand this world, if we understand duality and the way it works, we can all have a more easier experience. And not just that, but we can go for what we truly love, what we truly believe in, from a place of, trusting, believing in ourselves, from a place of excitement, rather than what if it doesn't happen, what if I'm not good enough, what if it's going to be taken away from me, what if I don't deserve it, and all of these narrative and stories. All of these stories and narratives come from, from not fully embracing our dual nature. And speaking of that, this is the first point I want to touch upon. We live in a dual universe, right? So we have to understand what that means actually. In order to experience in this universe, in order to experience one extreme of reality, which is, let's say, happiness all the time, feeling fulfilled and whole, feeling excited. In order to experience that, we have to experience the opposite of it, which is chaos, disconnect, sadness. It is simply how it works. Didn't you notice that each time you go through a storm, each time you go through something intense in your life, something that is really, really like not comfortable, like heavy, intense, takes you out of even, brings you miserable times. Each time you overcome that, you come back to peace, you come back to harmony, all of a sudden you feel excited again to do certain things. All of a sudden you have ideas and inspiration. All of a sudden you want to follow your purpose. You experience that. I'm sure that to a degree or another we all experience that, right? Or we experience that whatever suffering we have been going through, whatever struggle we have been going through, we always kind of overcome it. And on the other side of it is excitement. So that's the thing. We have to understand when we navigate life, and in order to overcome any challenge, we have to understand that when that challenge happens, we have to really, really be aware that because that challenge happens in our life, the opposite of it must also exist. And this is exactly why we are going through that challenge, through that struggle, because we, maybe on a soul level, maybe consciously or unconsciously, we already chose the blessing of that challenge, if that makes sense. So you already chose the love that you want to experience, the health and well-being that you want to experience, and therefore your challenge reminds you of it, reminds you of the existence of that reality, and that makes you go through your challenge way more smooth, way more effortless. You're not going to be reactive. You're going to embrace it. You're going to accept it, because you understand that this is how duality works, right? And let's give another example. if you want to experience that great love, that amazing love, that it's not like fantasy, right? We don't speak about fantasies in prince and princess kind of stories. I'm speaking that love that really suits your nervous system, that really feels good for you, that really feels safe to be yourself, to share your emotions, to share how you feel. I don't know if you experience that kind of love. I did, and I do. Whether that is with a lover, with my current lover in my life, or partner, whether that was with an ex, whether that was with friends or clients and people I work with and co-create with, I do experience more and more and more of that. But guess why? It's because I experienced deep heartbreak. It's because I've been through the polarity of that. I experienced how to be not loved, how to be abandoned. I experienced how to be betrayed. I experienced, mistrust. I lost trust in people many times, over and over again. And that taught me what I really want, which is I want to trust people. I want to be loved. I want to have people in my life that stay. I love to be myself, that person. I love to be a person that is trustworthy. I love to be a person that stays even when things are hard. I want to figure them out. If you and a person in a connection, if you both are focused on growing and elevating and uplifting each other, that relationship will function and work. That is a relationship that the divine has for you as a gift to grow, to expand. And so this is what I observed in my experience, is that everything that I wanted, I had to create it from the inside out. I had to become that version of myself, right? And this applies for relationships, but it can apply for everything, for purpose, for having more financial success, more wealth in my life. I had to be that version that deeply appreciates and has a great relationship with money, that doesn't run these scarcity programs that I inherited through, for example, my culture, my traditions, because I came from humble beginnings, and those humble beginnings made me have a relationship with money in this case. I gave an example with love, now let's give an example with money. Love and money is the things that we all want the most, and health, right, well-being. So this applies for everything. So I haven't been born into a world of financial abundance. On the contrary, there was scarcity. There was lack in my experience when I was young. I said it in the beginning, I was born in communism times, back in Romania, where I remember my grandfather was staying in lines at 4 a.m. in the morning for a glass of milk and a little piece of butter that will, everything was portioned. Everyone will receive based on the family members how much the government decides that they deserve, decides what is available. That is crazy. Nowadays, you can make money from your laptop. You can make those money from your laptop and buy how much you want of anything, right? You can have abundance of everything. Back then, that was not an option. That was not an option. The only thing that was, for example, even like today, people complain about how much bad things you see on TV. Yes, but you have a choice. You can switch to all the programs. You can find music. You can find National Geographic and history stuff, or nature, or programs for kids, whatever. You can find, there's everything there. back in the day when I was in communism times, as a young child, the only available TV program was at 7 p.m. when the president had a speech, and only propaganda. It was insane, right? And so we all have our challenges that made us, deserve or desire the opposite of them. One of them for me was, experiencing this lack and scarcity as a young boy growing up, asking my mom for things, and she was not available to give me, not because she didn't have money, but it was not available in general. You wouldn't, as a child, you wouldn't have the options that you have today. But now today I think that there's another extreme where there's too many options. So it depends how you look at it. But the point is that all our challenges transform into blessings once we embrace them, once we understand them. So the invitation here is for every one of us to look at our challenges not from a place of I am a victim because this is what happens to me. I am I'm sick because I have this chronic disease, therefore I'm a victim. I am not having my soulmate partner, my lover, the woman or the man of my life, because I do not deserve love, or whatever the story is there, because I have trauma, or because I have this and that. That makes you be a victim. I don't have enough money because the government pays only this amount of dollars per hour, and so and so. That puts you in a place of victim. You're the victim of your government, who decides how much you earn in a world where you can choose your own price, and you do that individually and not through these systems that society created. Today is so much easier to be yourself, to express yourself in the world from the most authentic version of you, and make money doing so. I'm doing this for the last 10 years. I'm just sharing my wisdom, my creations through writing. I'm through music, through teaching, mentoring, in many ways. I also wrote a book that you can find on Amazon, whoever is interested. It's called Be Nobody, Become Everything. And I created many things in the world, and that is because I started to overcome this feeling of being a victim. I'm not a victim. And in fact, I realized that I have chosen my challenges so that I can transform my soul, so that I can transform who I am in the world. And we all do that when we come here, when we incarnate here on this planet. We come in a specific family environment, to a specific ancestry, to a specific lineage, and by us going through that and living our lives, that already transforms. That lineage already transforms. We already transform. This is how powerful we are. We are transforming that lineage and that energy that we came through. So we are not victims. We are creators. We came intentionally. Many of us came for that reason, even if we don't remember, even if you have amnesia. We all came as creators. And so let's look at our challenges as creators, not as victims. Let's literally sit back after this video, after this session. Sit back and look at your challenges Look at each of your challenges in your life, right? Like everything that really challenges you even today. Those that you integrated, chances are they don't affect you as much, you might not even remember them. But what is still affecting you today? What is still alive for you today? What do you feel like you're lacking, that you still don't have, or that it's still triggering you, or that still gives you a hard time? Look at those, be honest, and put them all on the paper. Put them all on a piece of paper, make a list of them. And now flip them to your blessings. Look at what kind of desire those challenges activated in you. So let's say if your challenge is that you always doubt yourself, you don't believe in yourself, you don't believe that you're worthy of a different life. Let's put it that way. Now on the flip side, there's a great life awaiting for you. There's a confident version of you that is here to walk the earth. Now, if that is what you want, you have to choose that this is where your creative energy comes into play. This is why you are a creator. You can choose that reality and say, that is the reality I want to live. And if that is the case, then you already shifted from seeing yourself as a victim, the one who always doubts, the one who's always in distress and always experiences something heavy, into the one who decides that from today I'm going to do my best to be this version, the version that is confident, the version that is has a different life, a great life that I want to live. And so do that for all your challenges that might be on that list. And at the same time, I think the glue to the what fills the gap from being in this place of being challenged into being in this place of like harnessing the blessing of your challenge is your awareness and your love that you have for yourself in that process. Because if you're hard on yourself and if you say, well, that is hard, I cannot do that will take 1 year or 2 years, or whatever projection, whatever narrative you have there, then you're literally going back into the victim consciousness. You're literally deciding and choosing to stay a victim of your circumstance. But if you say, okay, I'm not there yet, I still experience this challenging belief about myself, or I'm still experiencing this challenge physically in my reality that constantly comes up, but I am willing to do anything in my power to reach this other state, to reach the flip side, the opposite of my challenge, which is the blessing that you want to experience, then the creator, life, the universe, source, is going to bring you possibilities, people, rendezvous in your life, synchronicities to guide you into that journey so that you can experience your blessing. This is what we call miracles. Miracles are created by your decision, by you stepping into your power of being a creator and taking action every single day as much as you can, as best as you can, towards that direction where you want to be, towards that project that you want to bring into the world. It can be you, it can be your own life, it can be a book maybe that you're writing yourself, or maybe it can be a music album that you're recording. Whatever the case, train yourself to see your challenges not from a place of victim, but from a place of creator. I'm the creator, I experienced this, yes it's painful, yes it is heavy, I am a responsible adult right here, right now, I'm a creator, choosing to be in the energy of being a creator. So allow yourself to feel the distress that challenge caused for your entire life sometimes, right? Because some of us carry stuff for 20, 30, 40 years in our body. Every single day we are carrying that energy, that heaviness into our future version of ourselves. We can't do this forever. We can't do this. There's a moment that I want to encourage you to believe that there is a moment where you and your choice matters, where your choice has so much power. I'm not just saying this on a theoretic in theory that you are the creator. I mean it. If you choose another reality, that will happen, right? If we don't choose, if we sit back and then we are comfortable with what we are experiencing, and therefore we're going to experience that reality, no matter what that is. It's always a choice. Our greatest test every single day when we wake up in the morning is to choose to be a victim or to be a creator. That is the greatest test, the greatest exam that we have every day. It's a choice. And of course, sometimes we say, yo, I'm a creator today. Today I'm going to be a creator. But you don't really feel that. Doesn't matter. Say it anyway. Say it until you believe that you are the creator. Say it until at some point that reality kicks in and changes your experience. Because otherwise, what's the alternative? You're gonna give up. You're gonna function on default, on whatever life throws at you, whatever the boss decides, whatever the government decides, whatever society decides, whatever whoever decides about who you are and what you're here for. We have to take responsibility for our lives, guys. Like, seriously. We have to take responsibility for the gift that we have been given, which is the gift of creation. If we are not, then it's going to be taken from us. Not because the God, however we perceive God is, wants to punish us. It's because we say that we don't deserve it. We'd rather stay in a place of being victims and in survival mode. And that is okay. If that's the choice, that's okay as well. There's no wrong or right. Again, it is just how duality works. There is no judgment whatsoever, whatever we choose. The only judgment there is, it's ourselves. We our own mind, and that happened in my life too. Like, the only judgment I experienced, and the most harsh judgment, was from myself. Not from the world, not from society, because people judge me anyway, whether I do the right thing or the wrong thing. The right thing is not right for everyone. What I feel to be the right thing might not be right for everyone. You might be looking here. There's probably an amount of people look at this and say, wow, what this guy says resonates and makes sense. And there's also a part of you that would say, I don't like this guy. I don't resonate with this guy. Who is he to tell me what to do? Who is he to know what he's speaking about? Whatever story is there. And I'm not telling you what to do. I'm sharing what worked for me and how my journey was and how I dealt with these situations. And if that changes even one person's journey, I'm happy. If even one person has a breakthrough, I'm happy. And now another thing I want to share about this is our purpose in the world is actually defined by our challenges. Our purpose is rooted in our challenges. Because, again, what challenged us, what we experience as intense and heavy, when we transform it into a blessing, into a gift, then this is what we have to give to the world. And I'm going to give a direct example from this. One of my greatest wounds in this human life that I chosen is the wound of being rejected, the trauma of abandonment. That was my greatest wound that I chose to transform. And I had to get so much rejected in life, so many times, over and over again, abandoned, rejected by partners, by clients, by people, by society, by myself many times, right? Because the moment when we choose negativity over feeling good, we are abandoning ourselves, we are abandoning our well-being, whether we do it consciously or unconsciously. And chances are we almost all the time we're doing unconsciously, because we did not develop yet the ability to choose differently. But that was my greatest challenge, I would say, feeling abandoned, feeling rejected. And of course it came from, the dynamics with my parents, dynamics with society, with the government, in school and education, where, let's be honest, in school no one really loves you and wants your well-being and to help you connect with your purpose. No one wants that. They just follow a curriculum, an agenda, so that they get their paycheck, and these people are called teachers. This is the school I grew up with, and most of you probably relate. And so, of course, we are constantly in this world. We are constantly, whether we want it or not, whether we realize it or not, we are constantly feeling somehow rejected or abandoned, because we are not deeply seen of who, we are not deeply seen in sense of who we are and what we are excited about, what we want to do. And so we experience this, Nowadays, while times are changing, we are asking deeper questions, we are connecting on a deeper level. There's these platforms like this one that helps us share our truth, share our information, share our purpose, who we are, what we are passionate about. We are actually alchemizing these challenges into blessings for other people. Okay, so whoever relates with me and with what I share, that might be a blessing for them. This is why some people be like, oh, thank you for sharing your truth. That resonates. Other people who are maybe not ready to alchemize, they might be triggered by your truth, However, the point is that all these challenges transform into your purpose, have the power to transform into your purpose. We came here to have an experience. This is what we have to focus on. What experience do we want to have, and what experience do we want to create for our future generations? This is what purpose is all about. And so that should be our safety. As in, like, I find safety in the fact that I know that I am the creator. I'm the creator of my own life. I'm a creator, right? You are a creator too. We are all creators. So I find safety in the knowing that I can create anything at any time, no matter what. Why? It's because I did it so many times that I forgot how to count. I did it so many times. I've been through so many rock bottoms in this life, and so many resets and restarts, up until I found what is really, really moving me, what is really my purpose, what is really my direction. And so this is where I find safety and security, knowing that I can recreate and create anything from scratch each time I want to. And this is why I'm also teaching this. This is why I keep screaming, you are the creator. Because if you find your security and your safety in the knowing that you are a creator, that you are made in the image of the grand creator of this whole creation that we call the universe, our planet, life. If that's where you find your safety, if that is your safe zone, your home, then you, my friend, are always going to win in life, because you are going to be powered by that energy no matter what, and you can go through any challenge, any difficulty, and thrive through any of these obstacles that people get stuck into usually in life. The reason we get stuck in things is that we believe we cannot create a different outcome, we cannot create a different reality. We think we are just consumers, just victims, just little beings that have no power. This is not true. We have great power, and may all remind ourselves of that. May all remember and be graceful about it as well. For those of you that want to connect deeper with me, you can send me a message directly. If you go through a challenge, if you feel like I can support you in any way, send me a message directly and let's connect directly. For those of you that are here to live and build your mission in life, your purpose, the reason you came here for, I am helping these kind of people on all levels, from ending karmic loops and patterns that keep them disempowered and in outdated experiences, all the way to launching your online offering, your soul mission there into the world, and supporting people, crystallizing, having clarity upon what that is and how to share it with the world in a way that is received and people can join you and co-create and have impact with who you are, with what your destiny and what your soul chose to be here in this human reality. So whether, and it goes all the way in between. You will learn about how to be prosperous, how to allow yourself to be abundant, being who you are, which is what most of us have problems to do. We don't believe we are worthy to be honored and paid based on who we are and what we love to do, which is complete the illusion and if you ask me, the greatest deception that ever existed is for someone to make you believe that you are not worthy of who you are and what you came here to do, because that is not paid for. I'm here to contradict that, and I'm here to tell you that for the last 10 years I get paid for being who I am and doing what I do 100%. I have no sidekicks and side hustles. I only operate from a place of real purpose and excitement for what I do, and I'm constantly learning and improving that, and it brought me great amounts of blessings and wealth and opportunities, and I don't even know, miracles. I don't even know how to describe it, because it's hard to describe in human words. And I believe everyone can live this way, and I have many friends that live this way, and this is how we have more impact into the world. This is our dharma. This is when we step from struggle into fully being conscious creators. This is why we came here for, if you ask me. This is our greatest destiny. How to live based on who you are and what you love doing. So if that's something that you feel inside that you're ready to create for yourself, if you feel like you have a gift, if you feel like you have a purpose, if you feel like there's a mission calling you, something that is really powerful, something that really steers you and almost like, oh my God, it's time. I know that I'm a mentor, a teacher of some sorts. I know that I have to create this book, this project, this wellness center, this I don't know, program, coaching program, anything that is in that area. You know, you're a visionary, you're a healer, you're whatever. Also send me a message and let's see, what are you feeling called to create? What is your challenge? And we can see if I can support you on that. That would be my honor. And this is the work I do for years, for 10 years, if not more now. And what brings me the greatest satisfaction and joy when I support creators like you to step fully into your power and, you know, have impact in this world. We are here to create another world, a better world, you know, on top of the world that others created. Or in parallel, however we want, however it works, you know. And I want you to believe in yourself and to believe that this is possible for you. And to remember that you are the creator. There is nothing that you cannot create. If that resonates here in your soul, in your heart, if God calls you to bring that in the world and in your reality. Alright guys, have a great end of the week. Lots of love in your experience, lots of peace, and lots of creative power. Much love. Ciao.